Three simple rules brought these two together. Not really, but they govern their lives. You're listening to The Bearded Theologians, hosted by Zach Bechtold and Matt Franks. If you'd like to learn more about The Bearded Theologians, you can go online at www.beardedtheologians.com. You're listening to The Bearded Theologians podcast, hosted by Matt Franks
and Zach Bechtold.
This week, we're going to talk about our passions, things that we love. And we know this is a broad conversation, and we know that this is something that we could spend many different talks on, and perhaps we will in the near future. But this week, Zach and I kind of want to talk about a passion, and with it being kind of the end of a season, we felt that it was good to talk about what we're passionate about. And so, Zach, what are you passionate about?
I think it's pretty obvious if you listened to our podcast before. Maybe you haven't, but it's the best season of the year. We have just got out of the World Series, and if you haven't listened before, Matt and I have hinted, maybe a little strongly in some podcasts than others, but we share a passion for baseball, and neither one of us had a dog in the fight this year. But it's been nice to see two teams who aren't the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Dodgers or Giants get into the World Series and just play really good baseball. And baseball, man, it was the sport that I played growing up. It was, I don't know, I loved it. I loved the atmosphere. I loved being outside in the grass. I loved the conversations that my dad and I got to have. That was one of the first things I remember relating just on a personal level. Outside of my dad being my dad, I remember we had baseball in common. He grew up playing baseball. I got to grow up playing a little bit of baseball, and so we got to have a lot of conversations about Little League and playing and how much fun that was. And even till today, I hope I've passed that along to my kids of this passion of baseball. And unfortunately, not all my kids are Rockies fans. We let them make their own decisions, and some of them are Rangers fans, some of them are Cardinals fans. Fortunately, we've brought them up well, and none of them are any of those silly East Coast teams. But that's okay. There's grace in that if they are. But man, baseball, just the culture behind it. I don't know. I love it. I love hot dogs. I love sitting in the stands. It's great.
And for me, I have a love for baseball. So much so that when I was in second grade, when the teacher was going, or actually first grade, when the teacher was going around asking what you were going to be when you grew up, I was firmly convinced that I was going to play second base for the St. Louis Cardinals. And every now and then, I still have that kind of hope and passion that maybe they'll give me a call one day when they're struggling to turn a double play. I feel like I could do that at 34 years old in a bum shoulder. But, I still hold on to that hope that maybe someday I will get that call up. And so, Cardinals, I'm available for you if you're really hurting. And I will play for the bare minimum salary, even if it's just stepping foot one game. See how much passion I have in this? And mine stems the same thing with Zach, is that it's one of my best childhood memories. My dad and I, the countless games of catch. We played home run derby in our backyard, and the atmosphere that my friends and my brother and I, played. We created our own little baseball league. We'd play each other one-on-one, and just great memories surround me in baseball. And I love going to games. I mean, I can sit and watch a game, and I know that's one struggle that my wife has, is that it's kind of hard on her, but she appreciates the fact that this is something I really love and I get into. And now at the age that I'm at now, I love statistics. And baseball drove my love of statistics, and baseball is truly a game of statistics and percentages, and so I love just sitting there. I keep my own book when I go to games because I love that. I mean, that's one of the things I did growing up, and it is a passion, and I think that that's something important to have outside of what you normally do. But I also think that it's a healthy passion, and that my life isn't centered around it. And I don't get superly depressed when certain teams from the town of Chicago that reside in the ungodly confines of Wrigley Field make the World Series. Thank God that they do it every only 75 years, because then, it would be a lot more painful for me. But, my Cardinals in their 11 World Series championships are very nice.
You're one of those people.
And so, Zach, as we think about this conversation, it is important to have passion. And so, Zach, as we think about this, what are some things that kind of still stir up within you?
I think about, Billy Crystal is one of those people who, we kind of know from his movies. He's a pretty popular guy, and he's one of those people that's also passionate about baseball. And I remember he made the movie 61 about the home run race back in the day. And I remember watching the commentary to that movie, and he talked about the first time he got to go to a baseball game with his dad, and he remembers walking up the ramp and just going out into the stadium, seeing the field, smelling the grass, and he just remembers holding his dad's hand and what that felt like. And all these years later, that's a very fresh memory for him, and it's allowed him and caused him to be passionate about this game of baseball. And for me, it's, again, in the same way, it's the memories growing up, the memories that I now have with my kids, taking them to games. Those are the awesome things we get to be passionate about. And I like some good mediocre Colorado Rockies baseball. We finished in third place in the West this year, and that was a victory, let me tell you. And I can live and die with them. I'm upset when they lose. I'm excited when they win. And it's a fun getaway from real life, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's just fun. It's enjoyable to do with my family, to talk about with strangers. And the coolest thing that I've experienced at a baseball game, being passionate with people, is just sitting in the stand, and when something awesome happens, when your team scores, when there's a home run, when somebody steals a base, when there's a pivotal moment like that, it doesn't matter. The people around you become your best friends. Y'all become community, and there's high fives, there's hugs, and a lot of the games that I've been to have been in Arlington, Texas for the Rangers. And in July, hugging somebody you don't know, that's a very intimate thing. Those dudes are sweaty and hot, and it's awesome. I mean, it's great. And I love that about something so arbitrary like baseball can just bring people together. Even if you have rivalries, or when you have rivalries and you don't like a team like the Red Sox, you can still have a conversation with those people sometimes until they bring up their number of championships. But
in my mind, baseball isn't played in the American League.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. If your pitcher can't hit, you're not really playing baseball, right?
And that's the thing. Is there are ways to have healthy passions, and
sure.
Like I said, I don't. Baseball doesn't. I don't sit and watch all 162 games. I'm not that kind of a fan. I do watch this. I do watch the statistics very closely, because that's just something I like to do.
Box scores are my friend.
But I'm not. Even though the Cubs were in the World Series, I'm not. I'm hurt, and I'll get over it.
But you can't tell me just for a little bit you didn't want to see him do it.
No. Oh,
lies.
I like the suffering. I like to watch him suffer. Because you're only a true Cubs fan, and you can lose a World Series, and and still be a Cubs fan, and you're not going to go root for the Indians or whoever else is it next year. And so I have a high respect for their actual fan base, not the bandwagon jumpers that come on this year. Because it's really a faithful. I mean, to not win over 100 years, that's faith. That's a faithful thing.
Yeah.
And it has been a while for the Cardinals, and they will be making decisions to get better. And if not, then other decisions will be made. And so, like I said,
I don't think you're going to get that phone call.
Hey, Mike Matheny, I know you don't listen, but you can always give me a call. I'm available.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
he warms a bench really well.
If anything, I'd be the comedy relief in the bullpen. I mean, at least let me sit in the bullpen and just crack jokes. I mean,
that's what I want to do. Let me, I always thought, if I couldn't work in the church anymore, if I couldn't be a pastor, let me go to Coors Field and let me be the grounds crew. Let me mow the lawn. Just let me hang out. That's it. If I can be one of the tarp guys, I'll be a tarp guy. I don't really care, but I want to sit right there and just watch games all year long. It'd just be so much fun. It'd be great.
So yeah, I mean, we're coming to a place to close, and we want you to think about your passion. And as we move on for our next week and our next podcast, just be passionate and enjoy life. I think that's important, to have a passion that can draw you out of your normal day grind and help you detach from what really is keeping you away, but then also do it in a healthy way that doesn't take you away from God. I think that's when we find problems with passions, is when we, if they invade our space for worship and study and fellowship, then that's when it kind of becomes unhealthy. But, find a way to keep it healthy, but then also, make it something worthwhile.
Well, and that's what we want to do. That's, you guys hopefully know what we're all about here at Bearded Theologians. So we want to create space for conversation, and our passions do that. They bring us together, whether it's baseball or music or football or art. It doesn't really matter what it is. Whatever you're passionate about, there's going to be somebody in your community, whether you know them or not, that has the same passion. And those passions bring us together and allow us to have conversations, even if they're just one and done. You never know what those are going to be. So we want to encourage you to have the conversation with us, have the conversation with people around you, share your passions, and see what kind of community it builds. We also, go ahead.
I was going to let you make the final pitch.
I'll make the final pitch. We thank you for checking us out here at beardedtheologians.com, listening to the podcast. You can catch it on the video feed on YouTube. You can catch the audio on iTunes and Google Play. We want to thank you for all the support. Leave your comments and ratings on the interwebs. We're on all of the social medias. But, check out our website. Go buy an adorable little onesie. Buy a shirt, buy stickers. Christmas is coming up, and all of our stuff make really awesome stocking stuffers. And thanks for checking us out. For the Bearded Theologians, I'm Zach Bechtold,
and I'm Matt Franks.
Go be passionate about stuff.
Go Cards.
Go Cards. Off season.
Spring training.
We were really good in spring training.
Thank you for joining us for the Bearded Theologians podcast. If you'd like to find out more about us, you can go online at beardedtheologians.com or check us out on Facebook at Bearded Theologians or on Twitter and Instagram. We're glad that you joined us for our conversation, and we hope that you continue it on. Thank you and have a blessed day.